terrible problem. Now, my target is, even after these elections, even after I become a member of parliament, which I am going to be.
Are you sure?
You have been here, I think, for 3 days. I'm sure you have moved in this place. You have got your own research yourself.
So,
but I think your findings is as good as my.
So, generally, you are sure you're going to win?
This is what I'm saying. You have been around, you have seen the support. We enjoy. People are saying we are tired. The candidate, my opponent, has been a member of parliament for the last 10 years. But show me visibly, something visible that you can see that has been delivered. Roads, electricity, that is a government really. The government has been talking about rural electrification and so on and so forth. So if you are talking about electricity, you are talking about road, what has the government what does the government say? People need to see. Why is it that other areas are better in terms of roads, in terms of social infrastructure, markets? You know, go to Kibale East here and see what is here.
We heard you got a market.
You see? Where? You were in Kamwenge the other day. You saw the market in Kamwenge. Is that a market compared to the market which is in the Kibale East? I had an opportunity to visit that market myself. And then Kamwenge market. The residents refused it. Because it's like a prison. It's not worth it. And that's a district headquarters.
That's what you promised to.
You know? No, we must find out what happens. What happens? Why that kind of service? Is it worth the people? Why is it? Because there are things we are looking at. That market is next to us. What is special about that market? Now, if there are other sources of finance, then let the leaders explain and say, no, don't put your eyes on that market. That market was given such amount of money, it came from such and such a source. For us, ours is this is what we are given. But up to today, there is no explanation. And that keeps the people guessing, speculating, and that generates negative tendencies, which actually in the long run affect the NRM government. Because these people in Kibale are supporters of the national resistance movement. They are grieved. And I think we are going to help them, galvanize them, really, not for negative politics, but for positive politics.
Lastly, General,
I think sectarianism are even worse. I should say they are even worse than the physical enemies we have fought. They're even worse than the ADF. They are not worthy being leaders of their people. They are betraying their people. They are betraying their people. Instead of uniting them for positive action, instead of uniting them for positive efforts, they are dividing them. I'm reliably informed, although I've not yet investigated that, but we are going to investigate. I'm being told that some politicians that are opposed to me, because they have seen I have dominated the field, they have seen that people are highly supportive of me. They are moving about in certain areas with documents purporting that those documents have come from the Kingdom of Toro, fronting Brigadier General Kisembo, so that they use him to chase the Bachiga and the Bafuruchi generally from their land. And about 4 or 5 people have come telling me, but for me I don't act like that, and I'm trying to investigate. And I have told them what to do so that we can get evidence of those documents and the individuals that are behind it. And I think allow me an opportunity to explain this issue. Some time back they created platforms, and on those platforms they were trying to front the same idea. If you vote Kisembo, is going to chase the Bafuruchi from their land. First of all, let me tell you, the Bachiga came from Kibale in 1960s. And they found us in the area. We have lived with them peacefully. We are now intermarried. My wife, for example, is a Michigan. She's a Michigan. And my brother who follows me marries a Michigan. My son marries a Mufumbira. So we are together. So the logic that if I become a member of parliament, I'm going to chase the Wachiga and the Wafumbira from their land is erroneous. It doesn't hold. It's propaganda. I will begin with my wife in the first place, you know, and all these other relatives of mine, which is not true. Besides, I don't have that right. I don't have that power. You get what I'm talking about? Yes. And I'm not the one who brought the Wachiga here. Secondly, you can't be born here, live here in the Greater Toro, drink the water here, eat the food that is grown in this soil, and then you continue to call yourself a Mfuruchi. Most of the Wachiga and Wafumbira and others who came from those areas now are no longer with us. So those who are here are of my age, and those who were born here. So those politicians are using it to whip up an element that can work in their favor. It's our Furuchi, we the Furuchi, we. I think that's nonsense. Such leaders are not worthy, really, being leaders. And we are doing everything possible. We are sensitizing our people. We want to. I will take effort and find out from the kingdom if really that document is there. But obviously it is not there. The king of Toro, who welcomed the Wachiga through Ngorogoza and others, there is evidence to that effect. So, for example, in Ikenjojo, the Wachiga in Ikenjojo are more than the Watoro who are there. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
And they voted Kanobutime, who is the minister for tourism now. Why is it that those in Ikenjojo are not saying Bautime is going to chase them away? Why Kibale particularly? You get what I'm saying? And that does not surprise me. That's why in comparative terms, if you look at my Kibale today, there are very many problems. And I think those problems, partly the leaders, some of those leaders are part of this problem. This constituency where I come from, Kibale County, is not only for the Wachiga and Wafumbira. No. You have Batoro, you have Wachiga, you have Wafumbira, you have Baganda, you have Banyarwanda, you have Bagisu, you have Banyakitosi, and others are coming. This is the kind of mosaic for the people that works for us, because in that diversity there is unity, there is togetherness. So it's not a single tribe that votes in Kibale. All these vote. So simply to have on the sentiments, on ethnic sentiments, is to me really demonstrates the highest level of bankruptcy. And people who are supporting me, people who are on my committees, people who are on my mobilizing teams, majority of my agents are Wachiga and Wafumbira and these other tribes. Because for them, they are not looking at the tribe, they are looking at the potential, they are looking at who is able to deliver to them what they really want.
So that is the blackmail to you?
We have experienced this. I remember when we were fighting during those years, in 1995, the negative elements, the FEDEM, UFM of Kaira and the rest, because they had nothing to offer to the society. When they saw NRA was making advances, because NRA had mobilized the people and it had started its battles, campaign against in Buganda. So these elements came up and said, no, Museveni is the Munyarwanda. They were calling him a Munyarwanda. Let him go and start the war in his area. You know, the Baganda will liberate themselves. All that kind of stuff they were trying to articulate. But because of a correct ideological line, you know, NRA was able to prevail against those negative forces. This is what exactly we are doing. We are not only saying we want the votes, give us votes. No, we are explaining our people. How can we enhance our capacity? How can we enhance our strength? How can we enhance our clout? We can only do that when we are together, when we are fighting together as a people, when we are against sectarianism, when we are against religious divisionism, and so on and so forth. Those negative tendencies that undermine our people. We are explaining our people, and I'm happy. Our people will put them where they belong. Come 16th July.
Any other challenge